I don't know if this one's going to survive or not, but it's got a better chance here than it did where it was. Got the master and the apprentice. Hopefully one day that tree becomes like this tree. That's the goal anyway. Well, I've started transplanting a bunch of trees. So these trees that I'm transplanting, they're either too close to the cabin where they're going to become an issue later on, or they're too close to other trees, so they're just eventually going to get choked out. All the trees I transplanted last year all appear to still be alive, so hopefully that holds true. It's also confirmed I have the Mini X coming next week, so I have to go pick it up. But I'll have it next week, and I can dig up all these stumps and reshape this area of the yard, which is going to be sweet. And that also means I can till up our garden, which will go over there. See how long it is before we wake up and have a bear at this bird feeder. It's happened several times. Because the bears are out in full force, and we always have problems with them at our feeders, but haven't had one that I know of, or I guess that I should say that I've seen this year. But Skeeter was pretty interested in some smell in the yard the other day. I'm guessing that was probably a bear that came in at night. And he only acts that way when it's a bear, because there's always stuff in the yard. So he knows what like most of the animals are, but whenever we get a bear around, he's on like high alert. His hair starts standing up on his back, and he was doing that the other morning and sniffing all around. And so I'm sure we had one in the yard. That's why all these shepherd's hooks are bent over like that, because the bears just come up and grab the feeder and knock them down. We try to bring them inside every night, but sometimes you forget. So I've been using this trailer the last few days around here, transplanting trees and doing some firewood and other things. But as you can see, it's made by David, same guy that makes the wood stoves that I use in all my cabins. But he makes other things besides wood stoves, and he started making these utility trailers. And I'm just using it behind my lawnmower, but this thing would be awesome behind an ATV. But you can see it's really heavy duty. This is a lot better than those ones that you find in box stores. But yeah, you can dump it with this here. He makes a power dump too, so you can dump it with a remote, but this is the manual dump. Very well made, sits up high. It's got the beefy tires, so you can just rally this thing through the woods, which I've been doing. Pretty nice piece of equipment. I'll be using this a lot this year, both here and at the other property. But I saw a video on his Instagram page of him with the forks on his skid steer, and it lifted up the entire skid steer. So this thing is not cheaply built. So if you're in the market for a trailer, this would be the one to get, but I'll put a link in the description. Well, we've had some pretty nice weather this week, so the ice has melted on a lot of the smaller, shallower lakes. There's still ice on some of the bigger lakes, but I'm going to take the canoe out right now since the winds kind of died down, and it'll be my first time having the canoe in the water this year, so pretty excited about it. All right, let's head out of here. So we'll head back to one of my favorite wilderness lakes way out in the woods here. So I was back on this lake last year, and across the lake there is this like bush camp. I don't know if it's like some kid made a fort or what it is, but it's on public land anyways, so I'm gonna go check it out. Before we get too carried away, I'll walk back in here and make sure the lake's open first. That way I don't unload the canoe and come all the way back here and it still froze. Looks like open water to me. So there's a lot of these little wilderness lakes by us that have no development on them at all. It's all public land all the way around them. So there's no houses, nothing. And that's where the canoe comes in handy. You know, I have that little boat with a little motor on it, and I find myself using the canoe more than that because, you know, you can just get the canoe into all these cool little lakes like this and have the entire lake to yourself and have kind of a true wilderness experience. There's a time and a place for the other boat for sure, but I love the seclusion of getting back into some of these little lakes because, like I said, you're going to have the whole lake to yourself, and yeah, it's just peaceful, it's quiet, and the fishing's a lot better because not a lot of people are willing to work to get back into these lakes. Yeah, we'll head out here. That little fort I'm talking about is on the other side of the lake over there. Couple of loons. Okay, I made it to the other side of the lake. I can see it's very hidden. It's right there. Right there. Looks like a canvas tent with a tarp on top. And we'll go check it out. There's a lot of missing people up here, so hopefully we don't find a body in there. Interesting. Firewood. Little camp right there. I don't think anybody's been here in a while. This has been here a bit because I noticed it a couple years ago for the first time and then paddled by it last year but didn't come up and check it out. So here we are. We'll have a look inside. Looks pretty uneventful. There's a PBR can over there. He's all right with me. You can see it was purposely camouflaged with these spruce boughs. A bunch of them fell down right here. So it was all covered in spruce boughs at one point, so you couldn't see it from the lake. Pretty nice spot right here on this point. And this lake does not get a lot of traffic at all. I've never seen anybody else back here. So I don't know what this thing is. Could be just a kid making a fort. Could have been a hunter that set up a camp here for a while and then abandoned his gear. I don't know what the story is. I was interested in it though, so I wanted to come check it out. About 15 yards from the beaver lodge. Wouldn't be a bad spot for a deer stand up in there. I've seen a few piles of deer poop. Got a little swamp there. Nice view of the lake. Well, I think I'm gonna head across the lake and start heading back to the cabin. Really, I just wanted to get the canoe in the water for the first time because the lake's just opened up, some of these smaller ones, so I was pretty excited to get on the water. And I got to check out this little fort thing, so that was cool. I wasn't sure what it was. I just saw the flash of the tarp and saw that it had a wall tent frame from the water one day. I'm just glad I didn't find a body in there or something. I was kind of worried about that. So I don't know, you guys let me know what you think that fort is all about. If that's like a hunter that abandoned a camp, or I kind of think it was a teenager messing around. There's a few beer cans laying around too, so there you go. Well, I think spring has officially sprung here in northern Minnesota. Smaller lakes are opening up, still ice on some of the bigger ones, but warmer weather and the ground's starting to thaw out nice. It was fun to get the canoe out and get out on some open water. Next video, we'll have the mini excavator here. I've been waiting for that for a long time now. I'm excited to get those stumps removed and yeah, reshape that part of the yard so we can actually walk around and not have to worry about a bunch of stumps. I'll be ripping up most of the land that I cleared over there, so it'll pretty much all be dirt. And so it'll be fun to see how that looks in a couple years when, we get some grass growing and, we'll have our garden there. So it'll be pretty fun. Hope you enjoyed this video. Appreciate you watching, and I'll see you soon.